This video is dedicated to Mike82. Mike, thank you for your continued support. Yarrick the Desecrated versus Riel the Everwise. Oh, and only if that had a green mana available to it. Well, we've got a turn 2 Solemn, so there's nothing to stop us going for Cultivate on turn 3. Plus we've got a draw, so we could get into green. And our opponent has a Mana Crypt on turn 1 as well. Very fast start from our opponent. They are going in for a couple of rocks, a land, and the Goblin Electromancer. Only 3 cards left in hand. We do not get into that green we wanted. So let's just go for the Underground Sea and pass the turn. There's an argument to be made actually. I'm just starting to switch my brain on now. We should have gone for the Mana Crypt there because chances are our opponent might have a wheel. But then again, chances are our opponent wants to play the wheel while they've got their Riel in play. So we've got a little bit of time to play the Mana Crypt, I think. Yeah, there she is. And they play the Mystic Sanctuary, which is good to see early on in the game. Don't want to see that later on because they can grab wheels back and stuff like that. Wow, Reliquary Tower, we're not doing the best with lands. Let's get a coloured land. Get the Mana Crypt and we will get into some green mana with the Solemn. There's the first discard of the turn, a Bizarre Trade Mage. You draw 2 and discard 3. So they pretty much just discard 3 cards in their hand and draw 5. They just get rid of a bunch of lands as well, a Lonely Sandbar, Steam Vents and an island. Okay, we're nowhere near a Regal Force. I think they're holding up. I don't know. With my Riel deck, I couldn't cram too much counter magic into the deck because I wanted to have a lot of discard effects. But I don't know how everyone else has built it. Let's go in for the Cultivate first. Should have held off on the land drop actually because we could have gone for Fierce Empath. Alright, well they're going for something in response to the Cultivate. It is a Thrill of Possibility. And they've just managed to discard lands so far. So that's about as good as you can hope to do. So we will go for a black and a green. Play the green in tapped, and like I said, we could have waited on the making the land drop because I could have gone in for Fierce Empath this turn, but there's every chance that we discard whatever we tutor for if they do have a wheel in hand. So let's just hold back the Solemn, probably try and get my commander out next turn. And there's nothing to stop us going Fierce Empath after that if the Yarrick stays in play. Faithless Looting, more discard effects. So they are now at 7 cards in hand. We will definitely block with the Solemn. And we will draw ourselves a card. We get into Miri's Guile. That's not a terrible one to have hold of. We'll hold up green and see if we can go for our Fierce Empath. Yeah, so let's go like this. And we will attempt our Yarrick. Okay, it's the Rights of Refusal, so they can just discard a card and have us not pay the 3 for Yarrick. And they decided to discard 3 cards there. A Daze, yep, so they definitely got counter magic that doesn't care about discard in Daze. Daze suggests that it's a competitive deck as well. You rarely see Daze. Yeah, so more lands and a Daze. Yarrick does not hit play, and our opponent draws 3 more cards. Let's go for the Swamp, and we'll go for the Fierce Empath in for a duplicate, maybe. No, we don't have duplicate in the deck, curiously. This is the Lance Matter variant. I've got 2 versions of the 1v1 Yarrick list. Alright, in that case, do we just want Bane of Progress to wipe out artifacts? It takes them down 3 mana. Yeah, we can try it. We're forcing them to have some counter magic at least with that. Now they've got the Bazaar of Baghdad as well, which is basically well, it's exactly the same as the Bazaar Trade Mage, and there's the other creature version of Bazaar of Baghdad as well. And they went for a Tolarian Winds, discard all the cards in your hand and draw that many. So they're obviously fishing for some counter magic there, I think. Cathartic Reunion, Mental Misstep, Spell Snare, plenty of counter magic in this deck. So I dare say that they just drew into some. Then Narset, Parter of Veils, with Wheel mana held up, and they revealed Mana Drain. They've got blue mana off of this, I dare say. Yep, getting rid of Magus of the Bazaar. That is the other creature version of the Bazaar I was referring to. So let's just block there so we don't take as much commander damage. And they have the Mana Drain for the Bane of Progress now. Then activating the Bazaar on our turn, because this only cares about discarding once a turn. So doing that on our turn allows them to look at even more cards, discarding a lot of lands again. Gaia's Cradle, yeah, I think we're just pretty much outclassed this game, aren't we? Yeah, I don't really see what we're going to do this game. We just have to force them into using the Mana Drain, but we've lost this one. So there we go, they've got 6 mana free next turn. Just play the Command Beacon for the sake of it. Yeah, nothing we can do. We'll pass the turn over to them. If they start playing around and messing around too much, then we'll just scoop it up, but we'll give them the chance to swing in, show them that we don't have anything by tapping out. All they have to do is turn everything sideways. Okay, going for a Narset activation for some reason. I'm revealing Breakthrough. Draw 4 cards, then choose X cards in your hand and discard the rest, and it looks like they're actually going through to combat now. Maybe they didn't realise that they had the win on us. So there we go. Haven't played, I don't think I've played Rielle in 1 vs 1 yet, but that is exactly how you want her to run. Played it in multiplayer, so you can check that video out if you want to. But yeah, never played her in 1v1, and that's pretty much what you want to do, is just play blue-red Spellslinger, similar to our Niv Mizzet Perun deck. Anyway, just going to upload this one to show you all Rielle the Everwise in 1v1, because she is very, very good. Not a particularly interactive game on our front though, so I think I will try another one with Yarok. Yarok the Desecrated, Lands Matter, versus Wart the Raid Mother. And we are also up against a friend of the channel, a patron of the channel, the Big Baluki. And do we want to keep a hand that's as slow as that against Wart the Raid Mother? I don't think we can, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll get rid. Okay, and as usual, get into an even worse hand. Ugh. Yeah, should have kept that other one. Yeah, another one lander. Let's just keep this one. And we will get rid of Avenger, the Crucible, and maybe we can get into some black mana for Blood Artist and Skullclamp shenanigans. Okay, we get back into the Ravenous Chupacabra, so nothing for us to do. Should have made do with the slow hand to start off with, I think. Okay, a Lotus Cobra. I mean, it's going to be good when we get into another land. Might even play that before the Sakura Tribe Elder. There we go, Thespian Stage. So, yeah, let's go for the Lotus Cobra now. Our opponent isn't doing too much of anything in the early game. Alright, a Parallel Lives, and I think it's their commander comes down with 2 tokens, doesn't it? Yeah, so that will be 4, making it even easier for them to copy things. Let's go straight in for the Sakura Tribe Elder. And we can bring that in, make some black mana with Lotus Cobra, and then go for Vampiric Tutor, and probably just go in for a land with that as well. Unfortunately for us, our opponent has not struggled to miss a land so far. And they get into even more mana with a Skyshroud Claim. So it's ours to lose at this point. So with that, we will go in for... what do we go for? I think it's more versatile. If we go for black mana here, and then we make a land, we can make the double green with Lotus Cobra, just hoping that it stays in play. So we'll make black, go for a Vampiric Tutor, and that can take us into a fetch land. a fort going on to that, so that is a copy of the Vamp Tutor. 4 cards in their hand, but they get a nice red Vampiric Tutor of their own. Put the Misty Rainforest on top, and we're obviously going to draw into that this turn. So let's see, we go 1 mana, we'll just add green, and then we've got 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, so I think we have to go in for Primeval Titan, don't we, to try and catch up on lands. So let's make a blue land with the Misty Rainforest. And I think at this point, do we have to go in for a combo win here? Or do we just try and go for Field of the Dead? Yeah, just for the sake of interest, let's go for... Actually, we can go Cabal Coffers and Urborg, can't we? And that'll generate some nice mana for us. And then we'll generate black twice, so that we can go for the Bloodghast, and then swing in and see what our opponent's got in store for us. Now Wart the Raid Mother coming into play with a couple of tokens. They still have some mana held up for things like Forks. Yeah, I don't know what else they'll have really. Ancient Tomb with Urborg in play is pretty good. So let's see here, do we want to bother with our commander yet? I don't think we do. Let's drop the Ancient Tomb. Maybe we do. I'll make a blue mana with the Lotus Cobra just in case. And then we'll make 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 mana from the Cabal Coffers. And then we can't get down our commander, Ravenous Chupacabra and Nissa Vital Force, so I think I want to prioritise these two. So let's go for the Ravenous Chupacabra. And we'll see if we can get rid of our opponent's commander. Then it's a couple of green mana into Nissa Vital Force. And we'll just untap the Ancient Tomb. It will have Summoning Sickness, but we're not swinging in with it anyway. It's just the least valuable land that I've got at the moment. Oh, it gives it haste, so it doesn't have Summoning Sickness at all. Now I'm going to go Thespian Stage onto the Cabal Coffers, just in case we want to use that next turn. I don't think we do. I'm probably going in for Field of the Dead. And I don't know, maybe Gaia's Cradle here. Might even go in for making a Marit Lage token. Anyway, we'll swing in with the Primeval Titan. Yeah, so let's go for Field of the Dead and Dark Depths while we've got the chance. And then if our opponent does have an answer to all of this stuff, then at least we can go for a Dark Depths win. Unfortunately, we can't cast our commander during the combat step because we do have open mana to do it with, especially with the Lotus Cobra. Wart the Raid Mother comes straight back out again this turn. And it's a bunch more Goblin Warriors, so we're going to be swinging Primeval Titan into his death, but he's done more than enough to get us back in this game. And there's the Skull Clamp with Bloodghast just to add insult to injury. I'm going straight in for this emblem, and we're going to attempt to refill our hand now. So we'll go for a Skull Clamp onto the Bloodghast, and then I'm probably getting my commander in after this. Yeah, definitely getting the commander in before we go for anything from that. Then we'll play Woodland Cemetery and make a couple of zombies and draw a card. And then we play the Woodland Cemetery, get a bunch of triggers. Bloodghast comes back, we make mana with Lotus Cobra, get some zombies. Draw with the Nissa, get into the Sol Ring. We'll go for the Sol Ring, and then we can go for Bloodghast again. Just want to make sure our hand's full before we pass the turn over. Okay, now there's a Cyclonic Rift, so I think that is probably pretty much the game. Let's go for an overloaded Cyclonic Rift. Yeah, apologies to my opponent, we had no right winning that one, we just got really lucky. I mean, we rode Primeval Titan into victory here. It just proves why Primeval Titan is banned in pretty much every format, but is unbanned in 1v1 for some strange reason. So we go Gaia's Cradle there, and we go for Vesuva. Vesuva goes on to the Field of the Dead, and then it's a heap more triggers. Take our opponent down to 2. Let's just get into this exploration so that we can go for Or do I want to play more lands? I mean, our opponent's got 6 cards in hand. I won't patronise them. I'll just play as we would normally. But I don't want to put too many triggers on the stack. Certainly don't want to make them force them into sitting here and watching us play. So we go for a clamp back onto the Bloodghast, get out a Mana Crypt, and we'll go in for 3 visits again. And then 3 visits just gets us into a tap land, and I think we'll just leave it there. I mean, we could go on forever doing this, because Explore gets us into another land, which gets us even more triggers and even more mana. We can still Skull Clamp on the Bloodghast, which I'll do with that floating mana actually. But yeah, I'm certainly not looking to waste my opponent's time, so we'll just clamp the Bloodghast just in case our opponent's got a board wipe or something. And that can be that. I mean, even if they do have a board wipe, we've got the Marit Lage next turn. Young Pyromancer from our opponent. I don't know if they have a means of getting out of this. They might just be playing it out for the fun of it. Alright, well, there's a Decimate. And Decimate targets our Dark Depths, the Primeval Titan, the Skull Clamp, and the Exploration. So in response to that, let's tap this down for mana with the Urborg. And then we'll go for the Thespian Stage thing now. So we'll make it a copy of the Dark Depths without any counters on it. Just playing it out, because I don't know if my opponent has any means of actually doing anything to us here. We choose one to keep. We want to keep the ones without any counters on it. And then because it has no counters on it, we end up with a 20/20 Flying Indestructible. Our opponent decides to pass it straight over. We'll just go straight into combat. I don't think there's any need to drag the game out much longer. So yeah, pretty much proving why Primeval Titan should be banned in near enough every format. It was banned in 1v1 at one point, but then they decided to ban a load of stuff that didn't need banning and then unban everything, and it was a whole mess. And in all that, Primeval Titan got unbanned. Our opponent's doing something in response, so they might surprise us. Destroy a target blue permanent, yeah, just getting rid of our Yarok, just playing around for the fun of it seemingly. And there we go, managed to take them down quite convincingly there. Had absolutely no right to win that one, but we did get into the Primeval Titan and it is legal in the format, so there we are. A Banefire from our opponent. Yeah, Banefire with all those tokens in play would have been good. Dualcaster Mage. Yeah, they could have gone for a pretty big Banefire, doubled it up with Dualcaster Mage, and then doubled up the doubles with with Wart the Raid Mother. So yeah, that was a pretty convincing win for us, but our opponent giving another few turns, and us not getting rid of their Wart. Yeah, I dare say they would have won that one themselves, so bad luck for our opponent, but we'll see if we can get into another game with them, because they are a patron of the channel, so let's see if we can get something going there. Here we are then for the rematch. Wart the Raid Mother versus Yarok the Desecrated, and I am not getting rid of a hand this time, especially not on the draw, where we've actually got lands. We got lucky last time. Wouldn't have gone anywhere near as well without that Primeval Titan. So I'm not going to throw away a hand with lands in it this time, because you've seen what happens. Get back into the Lotus Cobra, that's funny. So we'll go Tropical Island and get down the Lotus Cobra next turn. Arcane Signet for our opponent. Alright, an Exploration is really good. We'll get that down. It goes nicely with our Lotus Cobra. Our opponent gets back into their Young Pyromancer. And let's see if they've got any burn for that Lotus Cobra, after seeing how much it could do for us last turn, or last game even. They may well want to point some removal at that, but instead going for Cathartic Reunion. Is it 2 cards you discard with that? Yeah, you discard 2 and draw 3. Skyshroud Claim from our opponent. Let's play the Dark Depths, play the Nurturing Peatland as well, and thanks to Lotus Cobra we actually gain mana on the Skyshroud Claim, so no need to not go for that. Grab a Bayou and a Breeding Pool, and then I think we'll get down our Yarok as well, and I'll set up for comboing off with the Dark Depths as well. Yeah, I think... Actually, do we need to do that? Yeah, let's go in for our Let's go crop rotation actually, and I'll try and start swinging in with Marit Lage next turn. So now we've got 2 mana, 3, 4, 5, and we cannot go for Thespian Stage if we do that. So I'm not going to get down the commander. Let's just use this floating mana. We'll give our opponent the chance to do something about Marit Lage just for the sake of doing something interesting. It's not all that exciting going for a turn 3 Marit Lage. So there we go. We'll just hold up the Beast Within, and we'll go in for our commander next turn. Seems as though our opponent is just deciding to pass the turn, so we'll see if we can get them over the next couple of combat steps. Then let's cast our Yarok after that, take our opponent down to 10. They're just going for their commander, so it looks like we've got them next turn. I said to them in the chat that we just got lucky with the cards we drew into there. Pretty much exploration and crop rotation, as well as having the Dark Depths in hand, sealed this one for us. So we'll just get into combat and swing in with the flyer, and that should be that. Yeah, bad luck from our opponent. We got lucky with the Primeval Titan in the first game, and then got lucky with getting down a really fast Marit Lage this time. What have they got? Artifact Mutation. Don't think we've got too many artifacts in this deck, to be fair. Jaya's Immolating Inferno. That's, yeah, really good means of burn, as is Volcanic Vision. And Wild Ricochet as well, yeah. So the means of the deck is just pumping a load of mana into an X spell or some kind of burn spell, and then copying it with a copy effect in hand, as well as the copies from Walk the Raid Mother. So yeah, that's the tactic they're going for. It didn't necessarily work out for them this time, but any other day it would have done. We just got lucky in a couple of games here, I think. Anyway, big thank you to my opponent, big thank you for being a patron and a supporter of the channel. You all enjoyed these games. I think it's 2 or 3 games in this video, so hopefully you enjoyed that. I'm Tribal Kai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.